All right, we are finishing up chapter 5 this week. We have 2 lessons to go, 5-3 and 5-4. 5-3, chapter 5, lesson 3 is solving multi-step inequalities, just like solving multi-step equations. But remember, whenever you multiply or divide both sides of an inequality by a negative number, your sign flips. That's your only difference. So we're going to work on solving those. Okay, so we have a couple examples here. Example 1. Solve 6x minus 4 is less than or equal to 2x plus 12. Here's our original inequality. Let me zoom in on this a little bit so we can focus on it. Okay, first thing I need to do is get rid of one of my variables because my goal is to get the variable alone on one side. So I always get rid of the smallest, that's 2x here. So they subtracted 2x here and 2x on this side. And the next line, they actually simplified. So 6x minus 2x is 4x. 2x minus 2x, it went away. So now I've got this inequality. My sign is still staying the same. 4x minus 4 is less than or equal to 12. We add 4 to both sides. Our goal is to get x by itself, so we're trying to get rid of it. So to get rid of negative 4, we add 4. These two cancel each other out, and we're left with 4x. 12 plus 4 is 16. And then lastly, I need to get rid of the 4, so I'm dividing both of my sides by 4. Now, I'm dividing both sides by positive 4, so my sign does not flip. So my sign stayed exactly the same through the entire process, always facing the same way. So my solution here at the end is x is less than or equal to 4. Remember, we write it a funny way. If this is my answer, then I just put the little dot dot in front of it, say what my variable is, and then do the little squiggles. Right, but this is still my same solution. Okay, here's another example before we kind of work out a few on our own. Here we have 3a minus 15 is greater than 4 plus 5a. First, we need to get rid of the smallest a, so we need to subtract 3a from both sides. Well, that's not what they did here. They did something else. Okay, well, I don't know why they did it, but let's just go with what they're saying. So they got rid of this variable. I guess they're trying to keep the variable over here. This is goofy. I'm not even following this. You don't have to do it this way. We can solve it our own way. Let me get a blank sheet of paper. I'll show you that I'm not crazy. And we'll get the same answer at the end, which is a is less than negative 9.5. Okay, so if we have 3a minus 15 greater than 4 plus 5a, we're going to stick to our exact same rules, right? Always get rid of the smallest variable. So minus 3a, got to do the same thing here. These go away. Negative 15 greater than 4 plus 2a. I'm trying to get a by itself, so I got to get rid of that 4. That goes away. Negative 15 minus 4 is negative 19. I haven't multiplied or divided anything yet, so my sign doesn't switch. And 2a. And then I need to get rid of that 2, so I divide by 2, and I do the same thing here. Now I'm dividing. Did I divide both sides by a negative? No, I did not, so my sign stays the same. These 2's cancel, and I'm left with a. My sign stays the same. Negative 19 divided by 2 is negative 9.5. Okay, and then the only other thing, I'm done now. I'm done with the math part of it, but I do always want to write my answer with the variable first. So I'm going to flip-flop these two sides. And since the mouth is opened towards the negative 9.5 here, I want it to stay open there. So here's my solution. A is less than negative 9.5. And what did they get? A is less than negative 9.5. I don't know why they solved the goofy way they did. So just stick with our old tried and true rules that we use. All right, so here, 11y plus 13 is greater than or equal to negative 1. I'm going to subtract the 13. 11y, bring down my sign. Negative 1 plus 13, negative 1 minus 13 is negative 14. And then I need to divide both sides by 11. Divided by 11, divided by 11. And I can't really simplify that, so I'm just going to leave it. Y greater than or equal to negative 14 over 11. It's a funny looking fraction, so I'm going to leave it. Okay. I'm going to skip around. I'm not going to do all of these. Let's do number 3 here. All right, so I have Q divided by 7 plus 1 is greater than negative 5. So before I can touch this, I want to just get rid of this plus 1. So minus 1, these go away. Q divided by 7 greater than negative 6. Okay, so now I want to get, this is supposed to be like that. And now I want to get Q by itself. So instead of dividing by 7, I'm going to multiply by 7. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Now I'm multiplying. Am I multiplying both sides by a negative? No, I'm not. So my sign does not switch. So these 7s go away. So I'm left with Q over here. My sign stays that direction. And negative 6 times 7 is negative 42. So it doesn't matter that my answer is negative. It just matters what I did to both sides. I multiplied by a positive, so my sign stayed the same. So there's my answer. Okay, let's do the one below it here. 5r minus 6 is greater than 8r minus 18. We need to get rid of the smallest r. Negative 6, sign stays the same, 3r minus 18. I want to get r by itself, so I'm going to add 18 to both sides. Negative 6 plus 18 is 12. So 12, my sign is going to stay the same direction, and 3r. And then lastly, I want to divide both sides of my inequality by 3. I divided by a positive 3, so my sign does not switch. So that stays positive 4, sign stays the same, r. And then of course, now I'm done, that's the answer, but I just want to write my answer so that r is first and 4 comes last. The mouth here is open towards the 4, so when I switch my sides, I want to make sure it stays open towards the 4. Makes sense, I hope. Okay, let's do 2 more. And then the bottom, pretty quick. All right, number 7, before I can touch anything on the top here, I have to get rid of the bottom. So how do I get rid of divided by 2? I multiply by 2, and I got to do the same thing here. I multiplied both sides by a positive number, so my sign does not change, but these 2's go away. Negative 3x plus 6, sign stays the same, 24. Then I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. 3x, that 6 goes away, my sign stays the same. 24 minus 6 is 18. That's negative 3x. And now, lastly, I have to divide by negative 3, right? So I've got negative 3x with my sign, 18. I have to divide this side by negative 3, so I got to divide this side by negative 3. And since I'm dividing both sides of an inequality by a negative, my sign has to flip in the next step. So my sign's going to go this way. These 3's cancel. I'm left with x. 18 divided by negative 3 is negative 6. So my sign did flip because I divided both sides by a negative. So x has to be greater than or equal to negative 6. All right, and lastly, number 11 here. Sorry, I kind of wrote over it. We have 9n minus 24n plus 45 is greater than 0. 9 minus 24, well, if we switched it, 24 minus 9 is 15. So 9 minus 24 is negative 15. N plus 45 is greater than 0. I'm going to subtract 45 from both sides. And then I'm going to divide by negative 15. And since I'm dividing by a negative number on both sides of an inequality, my sign is going to flip. So these go away, and I'm left with n. My sign was this way. Now I'm going to flip it this way. And negative 45 divided by negative 15 is positive 3. So that's my answer. Hope that's making sense to you guys. Last 3 problems. 13. Negative 3. So we have to write this out. We have to translate it, and then we have to solve it. Okay? Make sure it does say solve each problem in the directions. So make sure you follow the directions. Negative 3 times a number. So negative 3x plus 4 is no more than. So can it be less than? Yep. Less than. Could it be equal to? Yep. It just can't be more than. So it can be less than or equal to the number minus 8. So whatever number we used here, x minus 8. All right, so here is our inequality. Once we translated it, now we actually have to solve it. I'm going to solve it off to the side here in a different color. I'm just use black. All right. Negative 3x plus 4 less than or equal to negative, x minus 8. Got to get rid of the smallest x, so I'm going to add 3x, 4, sign stays the same, 4x minus 8. I'm going to add 8 to both sides, so that's 12, sign stays the same, 4x. Sorry, I didn't realize you couldn't see that. This is what I got after I simplified. So going from here, I'm trying to get x alone, so I need to get rid of minus 8. So I added 8 to both sides, and I got 12 is less than or equal to 4x. And then I need to divide by 4. And since I'm dividing both sides by a positive number, my sign stays the same. These 4's cancel. X, 12 divided by 4 is 3. And of course, you always want to write x first. And since the mouth is open towards the x here, I want it to stay open towards x here. So this is the solution to number 13. Okay, and then I'm going to skip 14. Let's do 15. All right, the sum of 12 and a number, so 12 plus x, is no greater than, so it could be equal to or it could be less than, it just can't be more than. So less than or equal to the sum of twice the number, so 2x, and negative 8. So we're adding 2x plus negative 8. And remember, when you have two signs touching and they're different, you replace them with a minus sign. So this is 12 plus x is less than or equal to 2x minus 8. 12 plus x less than or equal to 2x minus 8. All right, and then we have to solve it. So get rid of the smallest x, minus x on both sides. 12 less than or equal to x minus 8. And then I want to add 8 to both sides, so 20 less than or equal to x. And of course, I want x first, so I flip-flop my sides. Here's the mouth is open towards, opening up towards the x, so I want to keep it opening up towards the x. I did cut that last video off short. I do want to do a couple of these, solve a couple problems. Same thing, these just also have parentheses in them, but solving the same way. So we just have an additional step of distributing before we solve here. So if we're looking at number 2, we're going to distribute the 3. So we will have 3d minus 6 minus 2d greater than 16. I'm going to get a different sheet of paper here and solve because I'll have more room. Here we go. All right. Then I combine like terms. 3d minus 2d is just 1d. Minus 6 greater than 16. And then I need to get rid of that minus 6. So I'm going to add 6. And whatever I do on one side of the inequality, I got to do the same thing over here. D, sign stays the same. 16 plus 6 is 22. So D is greater than 22 for this problem. All right, number 5. Let's do number 5. It has parentheses in it. All right, so first thing I want to do is distribute that 4.6. So I'm going to get 4.6x. Bring down my minus sign. 4.6 times 3.4. I'm not going to be a hero here. Oh, sorry, it was crooked. I'm not going to be a hero. I'm going to use my calculator. 4.6 times 3.4 equals 15.64. I already have my negative sign, so I'm just going to put 15.64, and then my inequality sign, and then 5.1x. Now I want to get rid of the smallest x, so minus 4.6x, minus 4.6x. That goes away. Negative 15.64 is greater than 4.5, 0.5. Sorry, I'm trying to do it in my head. Okay, and then I have to divide by 0.5 here to get rid of it. So I got to divide by 0.5 here. Since I'm not dividing both sides by a negative, my sign does not flip. So x stays here, my sign stays the same. And then in my calculator, I can figure out negative 15.64 divided by 0.5. 15.64 negative divided by 0.5 equals negative 31.28. And again, it doesn't matter that the answer is negative. It just matters what we did to both sides. We divided both by a positive. So now I want to put x first and put this part last, negative 31.28. And up here when I was done, the mouth is open towards the number. So I want to keep the mouth open towards the number. This is my solution. X has to be less than negative 31.28. X is less than negative 31.28. Okay, see how I just did that, all that work on my own paper? Make sure this is what you're taking a picture of when you upload your assignment for me. If this is all you upload, just the answer, I'm not giving you credit for that, right? Because I don't know that you did the work here. Don't spend all this time doing the work and then not get credit for it. Take pictures of the work that you do. All right, so I think you got the idea of distributing. So let me know if you guys have questions on solving multi-step inequalities.